Hey, this is Ariel Scherzer with Talent Point Capital. And if you really want to learn how to level up your life, you should be listening to the Time to Shine Today podcast with my good friend, Scott Ferguson. Let's level up.
Time to Shine Today podcast Varsity Squad. This is Scott Ferguson. We're at episode 330 with my really good friend, Ariel Scherzer. She's a rock star real estate advisor here in South Florida. Puts a lot of her emphasis on commercial real estate, but she does help with the residential side as well. She is a team member in the Jiu Jitsu room here in South Florida, which is absolutely fun and fantastic because I get to see her, weekly and pick her brain on techniques and whatnot. And she just has a blessed outlook on life. She's going to talk about monitoring your energy during the day and living for your why. So I'd probably break out your digital note taker or even, a pen and pad and paper, or sit back and relax and take notes. Because here comes my really good friend, rock star real estate advisor, Ariel Scherzer. Let's level up. Time to Shine Today podcast Varsity Squad. This is Scott Ferguson. And I got a little bit more of a treat because I get to see this person 2 to 3 times a week. She's absolutely, if you're watching on YouTube or Venmo or whatnot, she's absolutely stunning. She's beautiful, but she's a savage on the mat. So I get to roll with her every week pretty much. And my friend Ariel Scherzer here, she kind of can kick my butt with techniques. She's absolutely fantastic. And she's a local real estate agent and that really bases it in commercial real estate. And I tried commercial back in 2009, which my squad out there knows, and I absolutely failed miserably. So when any commercial deal comes here in South Florida, I turn it over to my really good friend, Ariel Scherzer. She is a transplant like myself, but she's a transplant from the East Coast where they talk like New York and Philly and Jersey and Boston. And I just love that you're going to hear it coming out of her. She is a fantastic dog mom. She was raised again up north, and she's been down in Florida about 9 years. She works in, again, real estate, focusing on commercial. Luna is her life. Her baby dog is awesome. If you check her out on Instagram, Luna's out there. She's probably hovering around during this interview as well. But she loves self-care, winning her day, and healing. And she wants to kind of put towards you. We're going to make Ariel shine because she's going to drop some serious knowledge nuggets on us. And Ariel, thank you so much for coming on. Please introduce yourself to Time to Shine Today podcast Varsity Squad. But first, what's your favorite color and why?
Oh, I love this question. My favorite color is red. I think that's kind of my aura and the energy I give out. Red is powerful, but it also can represent other things. Of course, like more passion, love, but red is definitely the color that I see. It represents confidence and strength as well, but also some femininity. So absolutely red, always red.
And it's in your color wheel, right? You
red,
can rock red. It's awesome.
Red is one of my power colors.
And it's funny in the Jits room, we're always talking about red and blue and red with Eric, right? So
yeah.
Yeah. So let's get to the origins of Ariel. I know you're an East Coaster. And
sure.
You made your way down here, but let's get into origins on kind of like how you came up through life and then really ended up thriving in the real estate game by serving people.
Yeah, I grew up in New York, so I've been down here for about 9 years. I did a lot of different types of positions, sales positions. I got into real estate, I think, as some people do. They're like, oh, let me just get my license, but you don't realize what it really takes to become successful. It's really not. It's not easy. It takes time. I tell people if you want that instant gratification, if you want to make money now, I would probably not recommend doing this.
Thank you.
It's a delayed gratification. So yeah.
It's funny that you're saying that. I mean, we could dig in this because we're both real estate professionals and stuff, but like we've talked before about like you get your license, like you just said. And then you might sell your mom a house or your brother a house, and then you're like, what the hell, right? So that's the biggest thing is people don't understand that you and I wake up unemployed every day, right?
Exactly.
We've got to find somebody to interview us to sell them a house, to rent them a house, or buy, or in your case, whatever a triple net lease is, and all that stuff, right? So what do you think is your strength in building your business to thrive on a daily basis?
Right. My strength, I think in the beginning, my strength was I always wanted to learn. I had a mentor. I worked with the team, especially in the beginning when I was doing more residential. I learned so much, in value, it's priceless. So that is really important to learn, be willing to learn and be open to criticism. Like I was always saying, what could I do? What could I say? Little things that are overlooked. So there's that. And then for me, as I went on in my career, I started focusing on working on myself and a routine and like a daily and a morning practice to kind of keep myself at a good place and to keep myself continuing the hustle, because you can get so overwhelmed. Your bandwidth shrinks, it's because it's exhausting. Obviously work is exhausting, but this obviously career can be very draining, so you have to have a good place mentally for yourself. So I think that was a big part of me continuing. A lot of people quit real estate like in their first year. I think the statistics they're not promising.
It's like 90%.
Yeah, they're not. You really have to be confident. But I think also now I would say the biggest thing is being personable. I think everyone I meet, they say they know me for a long time. So I think relationships are really important. My father always says people do business with people that they like.
Yeah.
Because there's so many agents, like we're saturated, especially in South Florida, right? So, you have to really trust and like the person. And that I gain connections and relationships. I think that's really important.
That's funny you say that because it's, there's a joke that goes around here in South Florida that a prerequisite of being a Florida resident is having your real estate license, because it seems like everybody's an agent here, right? So
sometimes I don't even want to say it. I'm like, I do real estate.
I love it. We're never invited to networking events. You know what I'm saying? Unless it's a real estate networking event. Other than that, they're like, oh, we don't need another agent here.
Exactly.
But
we're at capacity.
So let me ask you something. You said the word bandwidth. That's a word I use a lot. What do you do to keep that energy level full and your bandwidth at the best capacity that you're able to keep it at?
Yeah. I learn about myself and what I need to do. And what I always focus on, okay, where am I the best? Where am I at my highest peak? And that's usually in the first half of the day. So I do a lot of that, more mental intensive work in the mornings. I set myself up, with my morning practice too. Like I like to do a little meditation. And again, I'm not like some yogi, but I definitely like to spend some time doing some meditation, stretching. I need to get in the zone. But then I also know myself. I know that in the evenings, I'm not as quick. I'm not going to be, I don't want to be up till 10 p.m. doing contracts unless I, have to.
Right.
But I really like to balance it out. And then also taking time again for me, because if I can't take care of me, I can't take care of anybody else.
Oh, I love that. And it's so true, because that's being selfish. And then what people don't realize is that selfish, even if you look in Webster's dictionary, if those even exist, or even Wikipedia, or whatever, but it's like selfish is not a bad word. It's taking care of you so you can serve others. Right.
Yeah, it's like the airplane. And
I was just you're stealing it. I was just going to say, if I was sitting next to you on the airplane, I'd want to save your life, but I've got to save mine before I can save yours.
Exactly.
And I love it. I love it. So what do you think then? Real estate agents, whether they're commercial or residential, what do you think their biggest blind spot is to building their business?
I think that one of the biggest ones is learning, and this might be the more commercial New York side of me, but learning about what's going to be the best return on your time and your energy. People tend to, especially early on, agents, especially residential, you spread yourself so thin because you're so excited and you want to just take all the clients, but sometimes you can't help everybody in the best way possible. And that's not fair to the clients. I want to make sure that they're fully happy and satisfied. And sometimes you can't give it all to them. You work with someone else, you do a referral, because again, helping me, helping you. So I think a lot of times they try to overdo it and pile on, which then shrinks their bandwidth.
Sure.
And they're exhausted. And then after a year of real estate, they're drained. They're like, I'm done. Like KO, so.
They have no process, no protocol. They're just kind of throwing and winging it. So what did you do? Like, you got licensed, you're excited, but what did you do to keep that excitement going? Because no matter what, whether you're in a relationship with somebody, just a regular friend, it's like, okay, but what do you do to keep it exciting? And what do you do to step away from it and have fun?
Yeah. To keep it exciting, I definitely have had times where I was kind of, it's like, I don't know. Do I want to do this? Like,
That client.
existential crisis. Yeah, I've had so many crazy and funny and weird experiences. But I think for me, I try to, number one, like anything that goes wrong or something that happens, I started to learn how to reframe it as like, I learned something, because every deal I've ever done, every conversation I've ever had, I've learned something. I've taken something away.
You said that twice now.
I have? I didn't even notice.
And I love it.
Comes off the dome.
It's continuously leveling up and progressing and learning, because nothing stays the same. Nothing. And I do a speech on stage about being finite. Everything's finite. The good things are finite. The bad, if you're like, oh, I'm meeting Fergie for breakfast this morning, that's awesome. I'm going to meet him. We're going to have a great breakfast. That breakfast ends. You know what I'm saying? So you have to overlap that happiness. And like you say, you like find things that really motivate you.
Yeah.
That's going to go. Because if your passion's not there, it's going to wane. You're going to quit. Just like you said, and also, right?
And finding your whys, which I think is really important.
Oh, yeah.
That's one. But the whys for me, like,
I want to know your why. What's your why?
I know commercial excites me, that's when I regained extended my bandwidth, when I decided to put more of my focus on commercial, because I think the possibilities, everything just felt very exciting and new again. So I think that's what revamped me in real estate. And I was like, okay, like it just, something about it really, I couldn't even put my finger on it. Just got me excited again. So I think it's because of the possibility, and I like the opportunities. So I forgot the question. I got so excited.
You answered it. You answered it perfectly. It's being excited, knowing your why. What is your why?
Oh, the why. That's it. So my why is always, obviously there's like smaller whys, like, of course, take care of myself, like, Luna, like grow in my own like personal life, but also is to live a fulfilling life where I don't have to work to live, or live to work. I want to be able to explore and travel, and I want to train jiu-jitsu in different countries. I want to be able to enjoy my life and live a fulfilling life where work is part of my fulfillment. But some people, all they do is work. I don't want to wake up one day 60, 70 years old and I'm just still waking up and just grinding. And I feel like I'm all about working smarter, not harder. You don't have to burn yourself to the ground, and you don't have to sleep an hour a day to like be successful. And I think a lot of people think that's what it is.
What excites you most, Ariel, about commercial real estate? Again, because I personally, I can't see it because I hate it. You know what I'm saying? Really? It's just like, it's just because it's confusing to me. And that's the only reason why, because I got my
learning
license
curve.
October of 99. Right. So I've been licensed as an agent with 23 years. And I tried commercial, but failed. I think because the way you just mentioned, the excitement wasn't there. My why wasn't there.
Yeah.
But why commercial?
Yeah. For me, it excites me because I like, it's definitely a bigger pool of opportunity. And also, like, let's say for leases or even someone's purchasing a place for their business, I love seeing the business come to life. It's a different type of development. Like, I've had friends and clients that have done leases with me, and they've opened up gyms, martial arts gyms and a barbershop, and just to see them posting the business is thriving, like seeing their little, the decoration and all the updates, and seeing their Instagram stories of all the clients waiting in line, like to come get a haircut. That to me is so cool. And, I'm a little more, although I am emotional, I can be emotional and maternal. Commercial definitely is a little more business oriented. And I like that mentality. Like, black or white, does this make sense or does this not make sense? Residential is a little more like the granite countertops.
Right.
So, I like residential too, but commercial definitely has a bigger place for me in my heart.
You know what I love that you just said? It wasn't about the money, man. You're going to make that. It's a byproduct of service, right?
Yeah.
I freaking love that you said that. It's like looking at their IG or something when they're opening up their barber shop. Isn't that freaking awesome? It's like that. I just, closed the house for a first-time home buyer last week and watched them. He's carrying his new bride over the threshold of their new house. And I was like, that was better than the paycheck that I got. It really was. It's nice to get it, but that's just, and it's awesome. It just keeps your why going. I freaking love that. So what do you think then? We're going to go another way. What do you think your weaknesses are, and how much do you work on them and appreciate?
My weakness, a big one was and is patience. So I had to really work on my patience throughout these last, 6 years. I had to really work on my patience and, the delayed gratification, circling back to that, and also patience with people and understanding, I had to understand where people are at, and you learn how to figure out where they're at. So, what you need to do, what you don't need to do. So I think patience has always been a big one for me. And I used to get overwhelmed, stressed more easily, but I've worked on that. So now I'm again, all the things that I've listed that help me not get overwhelmed,
I love it.
Honestly, it's all in the head. A lot of it is most of it is mental. So getting that right.
Have you seen the movie Back to the Future?
Yes, a long time ago. Yes.
Yeah, it's almost 40 years old. I mean, right? So let's get in that DeLorean with Marty McFly. Let's go back to the 18-year-old Ariel. Okay. What kind of knowledge nuggets would you drop on her? Not to change anything, Ariel, because your life is pretty freaking awesome. Okay. And admittedly, I'm envious of you in a lot of different areas. But what would you maybe say to her to maybe help her shorten her learning curve, level up her blast through maybe just a little bit quicker?
It's a great question. Because I'm thinking about 18-year-old Ariel. It's kind of funny. I'm like, freshman year in college. But I would definitely say to work on yourself, try more things, because I'm very I still am a little bit of a creature of habit. So, I try to put myself in more uncomfortable situations. So I would tell her to do more of that because you're young. This is the time to do that. I started over the years. I did do some stuff that was out of my norm, or, go to certain places. So I did a little bit, but I would tell her this is super important. There's so many things that I look back on. I'm like, wow, damn, I wish I did that.
Right.
So definitely to explore, travel, learn what you love, because I was kind of in a bubble. I was in college, just going to class and partying. So I definitely would have told her you have plenty of time for that.
Right.
Trust me. Let's, focus on, on yourself.
Right.
Really word. Because I think at that time, a lot of people never did that. I don't think it was, therapy wasn't as popular as it is now.
Yeah.
Self-work, self-reflection wasn't as popular. So I would have been like, listen, let's go to a therapy session.
Right. Just go hang out with a therapist. I love it. So
yeah, let's get some help.
How do you, Ariel, want your dash remembered? That little line in between your incarnation date, your expiration date, your life date, and your death date on your tombstone. Hopefully that's a gajillion years down the road. But how do you want to be remembered?
Oh my God, that's so beautiful. I'm going to cry. Okay. So I think I have this big, I'll try and make this really short and sweet.
No, you're fine, love.
I have this big connection with two things: the moon, because of obviously it's beautiful, but the importance of the light, how in the darkness, right? Second thing is the yin and yang sign, the duality of things, like the light, you have to have light to have darkness. But, I've struggled with mental health. It's very common. I had some darker times, and I had a friend, one of my closest friends, I think we talked about this, she passed away 4 years ago. She took her own life. And I remember she was always saying, I'm so proud of you, Ariel, because I came from some dark times in my, my past too, my early 20s. So just to be I want to be remembered someone who always lit up people, lit up the room as the light for people, because some people can't see that or see the light as clearly.
Love that.
I want to be able to be that. And also that my energy will live on forever, because I do believe that too. So
that
is infinite. That is infinite.
And I love that, because you're definitely planting trees you're never going to sit in the shade of with a lot of people in your life, which is awesome because you give and you love. And it's funny that, someone told me the other day that it's like our God, I'm not going religious with this, but God or your creator,
power. Yeah.
The morning, the next day starts in the dark. It doesn't get light for 6 hours. So there's a lot of darkness you have to go through in life, get to the light, but it's still the same day. Right. And that just hit me. I was like, shit. Every day you wake up, it's dark. Right. But the light is coming if you stay the course. And I absolutely love that you said that you want to be the light for the people in your life and the people that you influence and help. That's beautiful. So, Ariel, what do you think people misunderstand about you the most?
my God, that's another loaded question too.
Been
Whenever
waiting to ask these.
whenever someone meets me, they're always like very surprised by who I actually am, because I guess I come off certain way. I don't know. I mean, even with jujitsu, like, our professors always say, like, I'm shocked that you came back. I'm shocked that you were still here. My first class, they were like, oh, she's not gonna, because I was like kind of girly. I was like,
Mhm.
I was definitely confused, but I fell in love with it. And it's so funny because people are surprised by by my grit. And by my layer. I always joke with my friends, like, I'm an onion. Like, I have a lot of layers to me. Like, when you first meet me, you don't realize how much is going on under the
Mhm.
surface. I'm way more, what's the word?
Vulnerable.
Like, I'm way more, like, almost like Alan Watts heady. Like, I'm way more spiritual than people like think, and more emotionally intelligent. And a lot of people don't realize how much awareness I have of the outer world and also myself. There's a quote by
Wow.
Karl Lagerfeld, it's one of my favorite quotes, and it said, "I'm very much down to earth, just not this earth." And I was like,
Wow.
my soul, because I I won't get into the whole,
No,
but
you're fine.
I definitely feel like
I mean, I'll admit to you, when I first met you, and you were
oh,
nice.
it's gonna be
You were
good.
nice as pie to me. You're
Yeah,
just
I'm
like, hey,
friendly.
I'm like, hi, I'm Scott. You're like, I'm Ariel. But you
Yes.
just seem like, at first, I was like, is she even interested in being here? Like, because I'm an observer. That's what
It's
I
so
do for a
funny.
living, being a coach, and also
Yeah.
in the real estate business for 23 years. But then we would have like these little one-off conversations. And I'm like, man, she's a go-giver. Like, she
Yeah.
gives, and that I can see that where people might misunderstand you,
Oh yeah.
just because, and we live where it's a sunny place for shady people, right? So you have to like kind of keep guarded until you meet
Correct.
people
Yeah,
and
I'm
get
not
to know them,
exactly.
right?
I'm always going to be friendly and smiley and cordial, but
Yeah,
I don't just show the cards like with anybody. Like, I have to get to
sure.
know you. Trust is
Yeah,
earned. Oh, especially on the mats, I'm always polite and friendly. Like,
right.
hello. Sometimes it's early in the morning. That's me. I look a little out of it. I'm just kind of
Hmm.
staring into space, but definitely love being there. And it's very interesting
Yeah,
to say that because I get that a lot.
yeah, and like, and I get it, and in squad, Ariel's higher belt than I am, and she absolutely, her technique just rocks, but like, you get the people that when you first meet people in jiu-jitsu, we'll go down this road. You see a guy like me, I'm a big dude, right? 6'1",
Right.
260, and you look at me and you're like, and if I was to walk up to you and not know you from Adam, you'd be like, are you a spaz? Because we get that. It's like, are you gonna
Oh
hurt
yeah.
me?
I
You
tread lightly.
know, I mean, technique is there, but I could sit on you on
Yeah, and that's
accident,
happened before. Not you, but
Right,
people have done that to me. So it's,
right.
you're always
You're
like,
like,
"Oh."
what the hell, dude?
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Ariel, what if anything keeps you up at night?
My own overthinking.
Okay.
Sometimes I kind of go through saying like, Christ, so I could have done this, could have, then I have to reframe it for me, like, this is everyone's journey is different. This is my process. I need to trust it. Things
Mm,
happen the way they're supposed to happen. Sometimes
right.
I look back, I'm like, oh, I wish I would have done this, or I wish I would have gone this route, but ultimately it led me here. And I'm grateful for everything I've done and learned. And I do spend sometimes, and I have to redirect my thoughts when I'm
Mm,
trying to get in that headspace, like the past, the future, the now, just staying present.
wow. It's important, like, the
Again, it's a
present.
learning process. I don't just, it's not like we're human. So it's going
Yeah.
to happen, but it's really about the period in which you stay there.
Yeah.
Headspace,
It's so true. Because so many people like have a foot in the future, a foot in the past, and they piss all over the present, right? Like, they'll sit there
talk
and be
about
like, try to
stress.
drag that shit forward, and
Mm-hmm.
then you just stay, and you're not. Everything's a progression, right? I mean,
Yeah.
if you think you stay the same, you're on narcotics. Because I mean, I look at pictures of me like when I was your age, and I had a lot less grays, a lot less wrinkles. You
I
know what
mean,
I'm saying?
I
Things
have some gray.
change.
Don't worry about some
you
silver
know,
hair.
things change and go long. So, Ariel, let's take out of this equation anything electronical, anything that we think that we need to live by. You know what I'm saying? Cell phones, computers,
Yeah.
laptops, whatever. Take that out of the equation of this question. But what are three things that Ariel can't live without?
That's not electronics.
Yep.
Wow. Could it be like a living thing?
Absolutely.
Like Luna?
Yeah, absolutely. I was going to say she better be on there.
Yeah, Luna. I mean, Luna now, I mean, obviously, like as far as what I do, like passions, obviously jujitsu. I can't imagine not
Beautiful.
training.
Love it.
And obviously, I guess family, if I'm taking out anything electronic, I guess family, friend time for me.
Beautiful. Community. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Awesome.
There's a quote. It's like, what's more important, the journey or the destination? And they're like, no, the company. That's a I'll send it. It was good. I was like,
that's awesome. That's awesome. So what is Ariel's definition of a life well lived?
Oof. A life where I feel the light. I can be the light for the people, where obviously, of course, there's like the logistic stuff, like family and growing my own family, all that. But like I said, I want to travel. I want to live a life that I can look back on and be really, really proud of and really excited about. And I want to do things that that maybe I didn't think I would do.
Right.
Like I want to keep expanding,
Yeah. Progressing. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. That's just fantastic. Time to shine today. Podcast Varsity Squad. We are back. And Ariel, we probably talked about a few of these things and maybe went in a little bit more depth, but on this little level up lightning round, you got 5 seconds with no explanations on any of them. And they can all be answered that way. You ready to level up?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. That's what I hope you're going to say.
Oh God.
Ariel, what is the best leveling up advice you've ever received?
The best thing, oh my God, I need 5 seconds.
You're fine.
Pressure. I think I wrote the best I've ever received. I mean, I think it really is about people do business, people that they like.
Beautiful. Love it. Share one of your personal habits that contributes to your success.
Self-care, meditation, and organization, morning practice, time blocking, calendar.
I love it. So you see me kind of walk in the jits room or down the street, and like Ferkie's in his doldrums a little bit. He looks like he's down. What book might you hand me?
The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
That one I knew. Right
love it. Love it. What's your most commonly used emoji when you text?
Oh my God. So, I mean, right now it's that
5 seconds.
The new one with the smiley face and he's like melting. They're like melting.
Love it. Love it. Nicknames growing up?
Oh my God. Sherbert, Shupa, Sherbert. My mom creates all these nicknames.
Love it. Chess, checkers, or Monopoly?
Monopoly.
Beautiful. Go-to ice cream flavor?
Nutella or mint chocolate chip.
Oh, yeah. So there's a sandwich called the Schurz. What's on that sandwich? Build it for me.
Okay. As of this 2022, all right, 5 seconds. You know me, I can't do that.
Build it for me.
Okay. All right. It's like either a croissant or like a sub-type sandwich. We got turkey, salami, like lettuce, tomato, maybe cheese, maybe feta cheese with like a mayo and like a red vinegar. That's been a decent like thing these days. Yeah.
I see now why we're friends. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Just have to add a little man candy, a little bacon on there. That's just need a little bit of that. Favorite charity and or organization you like to give your time or money to?
The Palm Beach County Shelter, anything animal related.
Thank you. You're the best.
Oh.
And last question, you can elaborate on this one a little bit, but what is the best decade in music? 60s, 70s, 80s, or 90s?
I want to just say the 90s because like I'm a 90s baby.
Yeah, absolutely. I figured that you would.
Some of the styles too.
Yeah. love it. So Ariel, how can we find you, my friend?
Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. I'm going to be creating some websites soon too. Nice. Maybe come on here. I'll be here more often.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. We're going to be doing in Squad Me and Ariel are going to launch a little podcast. It's going to be bigger podcast here kind of in the local area. And all those links for which you just mentioned will be in the show notes. So you can connect with Ariel there. And Ariel, if you don't mind, please leave us with one last knowledge nugget we can take with us, internalize, and take action on.
Great. I'm glad you said that because it came to my mind. This is also one of my favorite business kind of level up quotes is that expression called, I don't know, maybe you heard burn the boats. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So, Cortez. Yeah.
Yes. And there was also another one, I think with like the the Greeks, there was another war going on, like the same thing where basically, you have to, I saw someone that had this poster on their wall and it was like the boats burning. And I was like, oh my God. And it's really, that's what it is. Whatever you do in life, obviously with us as entrepreneurs, but anything you do, you have to really give it your all 100%. You have to leave any of the reservations and like exit plans and plan Bs out in order to get your destination.
There is no plan
I love
B.
the boats.
I love it. And squad, we literally just had like a fun, not only a fun conversation with good friend Ariel, but a free masterclass with the knowledge nuggets she dropped on us. She's a lifetime learner. She has mentors. She understands the importance of mentors. Mentoring, the more you mentor, the more immortal you become, because you're going to pass that along. They're going to pass it along to other people. But one thing that's nice about Ariel, and you kind of learn it in Jiu Jitsu, squad, is that she's open to constructive criticism. You've got to be humbled. And she wants you also to watch your bandwidth. You're going to get excited about something, but that bandwidth will wane unless you know your why. So she wants to remind us to know your why. Where are you best? Where are you at your highest place? Ariel also wants you to win your morning, but also find your highest energy time and get the most work done during that time. She said, know your return on time and energy. That is absolutely critical. And that's not about money, people. That's about living life. Okay. So she doesn't want to work till she's forever old, right? But she also wants to build her business, her little empire, or big empire through service. And that's what she does. She believes in the delayed gratification. She believes that inch by inch, it's a cinch, because by the yard, it's hard. You try to bite off too much, you're not going to do it. Inch by inch, it's a cinch. And we know that she mentioned the word grit 3 times, and that's what she's full of. And grit, Ariel will definitely agree with me, is a monotonous activity. You've got to do what you have to do every day. Sometimes you're not going to like it, but if it aligns with your why, just get out there and get it freaking done. She wants you to work on yourself on a daily basis, try more things. And if you have questions, get your, like my good friend Leah Woodford would say, get your asking gear, ask around, but most of all, enjoy the experiences. She has the connection with the moon and the duality of life. And she's somebody that will be remembered as when she walks in a room, she lights it up. When she walks in the jiu-jitsu room, everyone's like, Ariel, hey. And she's like, hey, guys. And everybody's just, it lifts the mood. And I'm not saying that to kiss her ass because she's a higher belt. No, it's for reals. Okay. And she also has said, listen, you know your why. You got a plan. Burn the freaking boats. Go after. There is no plan B. And I'm so blessed and grateful to be aligned with my good friend Ariel. She levels up her health. She levels up her wealth. She's humble yet hungry. She's earned a varsity squad letter here at Time to Shine today. Thank you so much for coming on, Ariel. I absolutely love your guts. I'm blessed I get to see you a lot.
I know. I'm so excited we got to do this. I appreciate it. Thank you for your time. I'm excited. Yes. Yes. Bye.
Hey, thanks so much for listening to this episode of Time to Shine Today podcast. Proudly brought to you by Sutter and Nugent Real Estate Excellence, who can be reached at 561-249-7266 and online at www.sutterandnugent.com. If you're a business owner or professional who would like to be interviewed on Time to Shine Today, please visit timetoshinetoday.com/guest. If you like this episode, please subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, iHeartRadio, or wherever you get your podcasts. There's a link in the show notes to our website. Also there, you will see our recommended resources. We hope that you will support our show by supporting them. If you like what you've been listening to, it'd be great if you could just give us a 5-star rating and tell your friends how to subscribe while you're at it. I'm your host, Scott Ferguson, and until next time, let's level up. It's our time to shine.